Lesson 5, Working with Numbers. Welcome to Lesson 5, Working with Numbers. Within this lesson, here are some of the things we will be covering. The topics covered are arithmetic, numeric data types, numeric functions. Let's get started. Arithmetic. As you might expect, PHP includes all of the basic arithmetic operators. If you are new to programming, you may not recognize some of the symbols used, so we will quickly run through the basics just in case. Arithmetic operators. Addition is performed with the plus symbol and subtraction is performed with the minus symbol. Pretty straightforward, as you can see in these examples. The minus symbol can also be used to indicate a negative number when placed before a numeral with no space in between. Multiplication is performed using the asterisk symbol, and division is performed with the / symbol. Modulus is performed by using the % symbol. In this case, the example displays 3, which is the remainder of 21 divided by 6. Incrementing and decrementing. In PHP, you can increase or decrease a number by using a double plus or double minus sign. Both of these statements add 1 to a number. The operator can be placed on either side of the variable, and its position determines at what point the increment takes place. Here the statement subtracts 1 from countdown variable before displaying the result. And here the statement displays the current value of countdown variable before decrementing it. Increment and decrement operators are commonly used in loops. Here is a typical for loop using a counter to repeat a section of code 10 times. In this case, the code simply outputs the value of countdown variable for each pass of the loop. Compound operators. You can use a compound operator as a shortcut when applying an arithmetic operation to an existing variable. Here we have used the compound addition operator to add 6 to the current value of count variable. So as you can see, this operation takes the initial value of count variable and adds 6 to it, then reassigns it back to count. All basic arithmetic operators have corresponding compound operators. Operator precedence. Sometimes statements like this one can be ambiguous. It's confusing because you don't necessarily know if you need to multiply 3 times 4 first and then add 5, or add 4 plus 5 and then multiply it by 3. The order in which you evaluate expressions can make a difference. It definitely makes a difference in this example because if you multiply first, your answer is 17, but if you add first and then multiply, you get 27. Operator precedence is used to help spell out the order in which an expression should be evaluated. Running this statement in a script will show you that the correct result is 17 only because in PHP multiplication has a higher precedence than addition. So when you have an expression like this one, the multiplication will take place first using the values that immediately surround the multiplication operator. PHP can be told to do the arithmetic first. You just have to use parentheses to let PHP know that's what you want to do, just like we've done here. In this case, the correct result is now 27. The precedence of arithmetic operators according to PHP follows the rule that is called the PEMDAS rule. PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponentiation, multiplication division, and addition subtraction. You can visit the following URL to find a full operator precedence list for PHP. Numeric data types. You already know that PHP assigns a data type to each value and that the numeric data types are integer and double for whole numbers. If you want to check whether a value is either of these types, you can use the is_float and is_int functions. Likewise, to check for either numeric data type in one operation, you can use is_numeric. This example contains a condition that checks whether the value of the number value is an integer. Because the actual declaration of this variable assigns a string value, even though it is one that includes a number, the condition fails. Although in this example, number variable is a string, PHP is flexible enough to allow this value to be used in numeric operations. This example shows that a string value that contains a number can be incremented and that the resulting value is an integer. Understanding nulls. A null is a value that actually has no value at all. Even though it has no numeric value, when you compare it to an integer value of 0, it evaluates to true. Numeric functions. Let's talk about some of the numeric functions available in PHP. Rounding numbers. There are 3 different PHP functions that you can use if you need to round a decimal number to an integer. You can use the ceil or floor command to round a number up or down to the nearest integer. So, if you were to use ceil for the number 1.3, your return would be 2. If you used floor for the number 6.8, your return would be 6. If you want to round a value to the nearest whole number, you use the round command. This works just like normal rounding. If the fractional part is under 0.5, the number will be rounded down, and if it is 0.5 or higher, the number will be rounded up. The round function can also be used to take an optional precision argument. This example shows how a value can be rounded to 2 decimal places. Because the 3rd decimal place is 5, it causes the final digit to be rounded up, making the value 5.4 in this case. You can also use round with a negative precision value to round an integer to a number of significant figures. Comparisons. PHP does allow you to make comparisons. For example, if you need to find the smallest and largest of a group of numbers, you could use the min and max commands. These functions can take 2 or more arguments and return the lowest or highest numeric value in the list. In this statement, we're asking for the larger of the 2 variables to be displayed. There's no limit to the number of arguments that can be compared. Here the example is set to find the lowest value from a larger set of values. And of course, the result is 3. Random numbers. You can use the rand command to generate random integers by using your system's built-in random number generator. The rand function optionally takes 2 arguments that specify the range of numbers from which the random number will be picked. This statement picks a random number between 1 and 10 and displays it. If you want, you can put this command in a script and run it a few times to see that the number changes each time it is run. It is important to remember, though, that there really is no such thing as a computer-generated random number. In reality, numbers are actually picked from a very long sequence that has very similar properties to true random numbers. In order to make sure that you always start from a different place in the sequence, you have to seed the random number generator by calling the srand function, and in this case, no arguments are required. Mathematical functions. PHP includes many mathematical functions, including trigonometry, logarithms, and number-based conversions. Because these functions rarely get used in a web environment, we will not include them in our lessons, but if you need to find out more, you can refer to this online manual. Conclusion. That wraps up Lesson 5. You've now learned to work with numbers. You can now test your knowledge in the quiz area, access the scripts we learned in the lab, or go through the lesson again. The choice is yours. Thank you for choosing Sam's Teach Yourself.